Can't wait any longer. Must go live. Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Monday Jumpstart. Our favorite day of the week. I'm just waiting for my YouTube to come up. Looks like I got a pretty good delay today. Hey, Margie. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Glennis. Yes, please smash that like button. We appreciate that. And then leave a comment. After we're done, come back, leave a comment. It's those thumbs up or thumbs down, whatever. And the comments that get YouTube putting our events in front of like-minded people. And that's how we meet new friends in our crafting community and art community. So please do pass it on to someone else or leave a comment. Oh, my YouTube's full of ads. There we go. There we go. Got it. Okay. So a little bump of the camera there while I grab my remote. Hi, Cheryl. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Sylvia. Yes, comments. Yes, have fun. Melanie. Hands, yellow heart. Red fish, orange, white eyes. That's funny. When I see it, it doesn't come across as the emojis. I just get the words. So that's hilarious. Hola, Deshelle. Good morning, Gretchen. Good morning. Good morning. I guess it's afternoon. It's 12:02 for me. It is so good to see you all. I am so excited about 2026. We have so many fun things planned and just getting in there and playing with curiosity. We all have so many products that we just have let sit here and we just don't make the time to play. We're going to play this year. And I'm hoping that you will stick right with me and play alongside me so that it benefits you as much as it benefits me. Because I can play while I'm not live. But if I play while I'm live, I'm hoping that you'll play along with me and you'll get the benefit of that as well. So there is so much emotional, mental, psychological, physical benefit from just playing with your art supplies. And it's been a rough, actually probably few years for several people. And so we need to take advantage of that. So 2026 for Happy Paper people is the year of curious play. That means no rules, no expectations, curiosity in all things art. Just play and have fun. Just play and have fun. There are no rules. There are no expectations. Go in with an open mind. Curious to see what you do today. I am too, Margie. How many sides is a hexagon? A hexagon is 6 sides. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that right? I believe it is. Yes. 2, 4, 2, 4, 6. 2, 4, 6. Oh, is this an octagon? Is this 8? 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. This is an octagon. I thought nobody'd be able to find an octagon. I changed it to hexagon and took octagon out. I know what it'll do. We'll change that card to say octagon/hexagon instead of 2 separate cards. So what do you do for octagon or hexagon? You could, I thought it was 5 sides, Margie. I thought it was 5 sides, hexagon. And now okay, so I was thinking you could also grab a honeycomb, but that's 6 sides. What is a 6-sided? Pentagon is 5. Hexagon is 6. There we go. Okay, so hexagon is 6. So you could use a honeycomb stencil. That gives you 6 sides. You could use a gel plate. That's actually an octagon. You could just draw it. I'll tell you, if you're gathering supplies to participate with us today, first of all, for those who haven't seen or haven't heard or weren't here when we first introduced this, we are using prompts for art journal pages in 2026. And I made the prompt cards. They're all in these 2 little boxes, besides what I've already pulled for today. And they're just small prompt cards, so they're easy to handle. And they were art ATC bases that I cut in half. So my size is half of an ATC. If you make them for yourself, you may make them any size you want. I have made the backs of 5 different colors. I have book pages 1, and then red, yellow, blue, and green. Those are my colors. The book page ones, the prompt is colors. The red ones are shapes. The yellow ones are media. The blue ones are decorative elements, and the green ones are tools. So every time we do an art journal page, I will pull, I'll pull one, and then if it feels like we need more, I'll pull a second one. And you can pull as many as you want from each category. Also, there are no rules. So it doesn't matter what we pull. You can use anything else you want in addition to it. We all kind of messed up that mathy thing, right? Never any rules anywhere. So here's what I've pulled for today. For colors, I pulled magenta and purple. For shapes, I pulled hexagon, and you could read this as hexagon/octagon. So either one. And also zigzag. What do you use for zigzag? You could use rickrack. I grabbed a Stabilo pencil so I could just make some zigzag. For media, I grabbed acrylic paint. And for decorative elements, I've got words, text, or phrase. Also, dress pattern or tissue paper. And then for tools, I got wild card. Pretty easy for the first one we're doing, because then you get to choose whatever tools you want. That tool could be a brayer. It could be a mark making tool. It could be the gel plate to use for the shape. It could be a stencil to use for the shape or for something else, just for decorating. So there's our prompts. And I'll leave them here for a bit just so that somebody wants to write them down, you can. I'm going to be using a composition book. So yes, I'm going to torture Sylvia with zigzags. But I am not going to do rickrack, Sylvia. I just didn't want to send you to, the dark side. On coffee dyed filters. Ooh, yeah. Prompts can be little strips of folded paper. They can be, you can just cut out, you could print them out on colored paper. You could print them out on white and glue them onto the colored paper just so you can tell your sections, apart. They can be anything you want. So this is a thought process that I have learned from Sean Petite. I love watching her videos. She's a mixed media artist. She does a lot of art journals. Excuse me. And I want to do more art journaling. And so I've been watching her. I like the way she does it. I like her approach. Her approach is walking in there and I need to create today. I need to work out some things and I don't know what I'm going to create, but I'm just going to start creating. There are no rules. There's no right. There's no wrong. She has lots of art journals. I have lots and lots of art journals. However, one of the things that I've picked up from her is art journals that are not precious. So I'm going to be using a composition book for these art journal pages that we do with these prompts this year, because this is not a precious book. And the fact that it's not precious gives me the freedom in my own mind. It gives me the freedom to do whatever, to play, to practice, to try things. And I'm not going to ruin a really nice art book that I bought and spent a bunch of money on. So I am gluing, I just glued, I think 3 pages together, 2 or 3 pages. I just sewed this last night, so it would be ready to go. I also have the next spread is glued together, but it is not gessoed. So depending on how I decide to start my base today, I have a gessoed substrate or just a paper substrate. So, and as I have time, I will go through and just glue everything together. Now, if you start with collaging some things on the bottom, maybe you don't need 3 pages because that's going to make it a lot thicker right there. But also she makes her own art journals, and we'll be doing that on a live because I would like to do that. And so I'll do it on a live so that you can see her process for doing that, because again, that process for me feels very freeing, very, it makes me feel very alive that I could do anything on those pages and not worry about ruining a precious book. So that is up to you. You can use a precious book, a not precious book. You could use a piece of paper and then put it into a book later. You can glue it on a page. You can bind them together. Do whatever you want. No rules, no wrong, no right. An old cookbook. That's great. You spelled it just right, Melanie. You spelled it correctly. And yeah, I love her. She's very down to earth, and she's very, just play, just try, just practice, just do. So, okay, before we get right into that, let me tell you that we have a prize pack today. We have a prize pack ready to give away, and the prize pack is given away at the end of today's live. Anybody who supports the channel with a super chat today gets into the drawing. If any amount. So we just keep track of those super chats. At the end of the live, we will put all the names into the wheel of names so that you get to see the drawing done live right here. And I'm very excited about that. We did 19, we gave away 19 prize packs during the Black Friday sale. So I've had to go downstairs and drag up a whole bunch more stuff. And I've got stuff from estate sales, also regular stuff from the shop, stuff that we've made on Monday Jump Starts, supplies of all kinds. So you never know what you're going to get in the prize pack. It is just a whole variety of fun stuff. There's medals, there's charms, there's little things, there's big things, there's just all kinds of stuff. Thank you, Margie, for getting us started. Let me get that just like that. That's how you do it. So Margie got us started on the super chat for the drawing. Also, thank you, Glynis. Glynis is in the drawing for the prize pack today. Also, I want to tell you about or remind you about joining the subscription, the Happy Paper People YouTube subscription, joining the membership. It's not subscription, it's membership. I'm back on subscription box brain. It's membership. The YouTube membership for our channel. I am very excited because we are planning some fun things for this year. We're going to have a workshop every single month for the YouTube membership. So that's a private workshop, and that will be only for the membership. So however many people join, if it's a small group, it's a small group, and it's, you get lots of private time there. The larger it gets, sometimes the more fun it is, because you get ideas from other people as well. So you can, when we're done, if you just go to the YouTube page, there's a little button that says join. Just click on that. You'll see you can get into that really, really inexpensively. I think it's like $1.99 a month. But we are going to, tomorrow, I will be scheduling the first workshop, which I plan to hold next week. And I've already got that planned out and ready to go. So very excited about getting to know the people in the membership a little bit better, one-on-one, and doing some of these fun workshops together with you. So if you haven't joined the membership, I invite you to come join with us. Thank you, Gretchen. Gretchen is in the drawing for the prize pack today. Thank you, Carrie. Appreciate you guys. And Toby, welcome, Toby. Hello, hello, and thank you. All right, I am keeping track of that. And admin, any of admin, if you want to keep a list as well, just to double check me. You cannot ruin a purchased art book with your art. You're right. Your art is your brain playing with your visual loves that are in your heart. That is so true. At the same time, I know that it's easy to get hung up in our own mind about our art. And I really want to promote for myself, especially this year, the thought process of just playing and being more curious with things. What will they do? How will they act? How will they react? And just feeling free to play. And as much as what I know what you said is true, there's still that piece of the brain that says, oh, this has got to be a really good thing or a really perfect thing, because I don't want to ruin, I don't want to ruin this brand new book or this really great book. So thank you, Toby. Toby's in the drawing twice. Margie, see the star by some people's names, that denotes membership. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. If you look at Toby, there is a star by her name. Carrie has a star. Gretchen has a star. Glynis has a star. Margie, where's your star? I know Margie was Margie was one of the first ones in there. Doesn't have a star. That's okay. Or let's see. Yeah. Positive words. Yes. Positive words, Sylvia. This is going to be a fun year, super fun year, and we're going to play. We're going to learn from each other. I'm going to learn a lot from you guys. I always learn from Sylvia because she is not afraid of anything, and I love that. And I'm learning to not be afraid, to just do. I'm going to put down a few pieces of just scrap paper underneath my composition book, just in case I go over the edge. Then I won't have to worry about either cleaning it up right now or setting something in it. So that's all I'm doing there. So what have I pulled for today's prompts? And you can pull anything you want, but I've pulled some acrylic paint because that's our media. I pulled acrylic paint in magenta and shades of pink, in different shades of purple. I've got a couple things that I showed you of hexagon or octagon. Zigzag, I grabbed Stabilo pencils. Figure I'll probably have to draw that zigzag. Words, text, or phrase. I've got a couple pieces of tissue paper here. I know I've got a piece of dress pattern here, a scrap box as well. And tools could be stencils or a brayer. Mark making tool, I've got some of those as well. So let's get, another mark making tool that is a hexagon is, and some of you have this from the sale, these little shaped pads that are basically for mark making in alcohol ink. They stick right onto one of your daubers, but there's a hexagon in there. And that is 6-sided. Hexagon 6, yes, pentagon 5. It's been a long time since I was in school. I have to go back and remember. You do have a star. Why didn't it show up for me? Let me go back here. Oh, you do have a star because the color, on StreamYard, the color blurred out the star. I didn't see it. Thank you, Margie. Be gentle with yourself. Learning how to play with good tools helps you improve your growth. Yes, that is so true. If you ever need any encouragement, just talk to Sylvia. She always just makes you feel that whatever you're doing is great. Okay, so let me see. Am I going to start with paint, or am I going to start? You know what? I think I'm going to start with some collage. Or am I? I'm going to grab. One moment. I'm going to grab a small gel plate that I can just put some paint on and brayer on. I didn't think about that before. But they happen to be right here, so just need to look at which tin has a small one. I do like these tins for keeping them in. There's a small one. Okay. I'm just grabbing like a 5x7 gel plate just so I can use it as a surface. Just so I can use it as a surface for putting some paint down. Boy, my screen is really white right now. We need to change that. Need to go to college. Do you need to go to collage to learn what a hexagon is? Hi, Leah. Good to see you. Okay, so I'm going to go to my gessoed page. We're just doing this, right? We're just doing this. We have to use magenta. Woo-wee, that's a lot of magenta. We have to use magenta and we have to use purple. So I'm just going to start putting down. And sometimes the brayer needs to be cleaned of old paint that gets stuck in between and wants to keep it from spinning. There we go. I also have one of my art rags close by because, you know I'm going to need it because I'm just that way. I don't like to have to worry about having to be super neat or clean when I'm doing anything art. So, okay, so I'm just starting with the magenta. And I just want to get some down. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. I'm just going with it. So I want you to feel free to do the same. Just grab what you're going to use and just go to town. I really like us all using the same prompts because it's fun to see the different things that we come up with in the end, the results from the same prompts and how different they are. This would be a good time to have you in here, Sylvia, to read the comments to me. I could give you a link to StreamYard. You could come in and just not be on video, just read the comments. Okay, so there is pink. Now purple, I've got some different shades of purple. Don't have a star. You don't need a star. A star isn't today's shape, so I wouldn't even worry about that, honestly. Yeah, that was good, Margie. You need to go to collage. All right, let's get a little bit of purple. Honestly, I really want to try this. It's called Viola, but it's a really dark violet. Get those crusties off the end. Make sure my brush is close by. All right, I'm going to start with this dark one here. I don't know where it's going to go, but it's going to go. Ooh, that is dark and that is pretty. That's a really, probably looks black on camera. I don't know. It's a really dark violet, so deep purple. And that's really pretty. Oh, by your name. Oh, I thought you did. Gretchen. Oh, maybe it gave you a star because you were super chat today. I'm sorry. What I get for looking at it so fast. Well, if you are able to, I invite you to join us in the membership. We're going to do our first workshop next week, and it is a fun one. And you'll have, as soon as I schedule the date, I'll be able to schedule the date tomorrow. And as soon as I schedule the date, there will be a message or a video in the membership for y'all to see. And I'll tell you exactly what supplies you'll want to gather to do the workshop, next week's workshop. It's a great one to start the year off and help free up your brain. And it is not neurographic art, Glennis. Although that's fun. We'll have to do that one month as well. Some different takes on neurographic art, but it is not. Okay, so now I've got some good base color down. I'm looking at all the things that I know that I need to use here. Let's see. Okay, so I would like to put this back in here. Cleared off my desk so I'd have a lot of room. You know, there's never a lot of room. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. I'm going to sneeze. Oh, it's not coming. Then you know what? I might have said a couple of names that don't have a star by them that did because of the super chat. Gretchen, thank you for pointing that out. So if I said your name and you don't think that you have joined the membership, then you probably need to go check to see if you are a member, because I probably just saw all the stars from the super chat. Oh, is that clogged up? Because that's not coming out. I think this might dry clear. That's clear. I don't want a clear one. I'm not sure if that dries clear or not. Should have checked that before I gathered it. So let's take some milk white paint. I did put these upside down overnight, so hopefully they would drain down to the bottom here. You could use gesso for this. I've got some bottles of paint that are getting close to being empty, and so I thought I'm going to use those because I really want to. Let's see if I can get in it. I can feel a huge glob of paint there, and it's just not coming out. So there we go. There's some of it. I want to try to use some of these up. So white, black and white are always free to add. And, you know, there's no rules. You can add any color you want. If there's another color you like with these. But I like to always have black and white on hand. And sometimes I'll just use gesso instead of white. I like the way it works, but I really do want to try to use up a couple of these that are pretty close to being empty. And I need to water that down just a little bit. Let's just give it a little mixy mix with my finger. You could use tools if you want. You can use your fingers if you want. That is totally up to you. I'm not going to get too many fingers in the paint. I'll try to keep it to just one. The acrylic paint dried pretty quickly, but when I put this other acrylic paint over it, if I rub it for a minute, I can get that to turn lavender. So if I want it to be just white, then I need to put it on and not keep rubbing it. But if I want to alter the color of it, add more shades of purple in there. Let's see. Use pretend prompts. You can, Toby, it's $19.20. If you will do $20, that will cover, well, it won't cover what they're going to take from Super Chat, but it'll come close enough. Yes, if you do $20, that you can cover that. Yes. That's a good idea, Toby. Brilliant thinking. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, there's more in there. Question is how hard am I going to work to get it out? Create a little suction. We've got some background here. I have no idea where I'm going from this. I can't wait to see what you guys are doing. Thank you, Toby. Consider that cleared, and I will cancel the PayPal one. All right. So who all, now that you've got your fingers in paint, who all is working along with me today? I know Melanie is. I know Glynis is. I know Carrie is driving appointment, but we'll be doing it, finishing it after. Can't finish it during the time. Who else is working along with us? Yay, Melanie. Okay, so I would like to get a little bit of, I don't know, something in the background, and I need to get that hexagon or octagon in there. I could have done that with some of that paint. So let me think here. It's a pretty big. See, I am trying to decide. I think actually I might use this stencil. I was going to use that gel plate with my shape, but it's a fairly large shape in proportion to this composition journal. If I was using a larger journal, I think it would be great, but I think it is fairly large in relation to this, and I'm not sure I want to go that large. So I'm going to, this is paint is Shadow. It's a Stamperia paint. And I'm going to put shadow down. I'm just going to thin it out just a little bit. I want it to kind of be like a shadow, not dark black, but dark enough. So let's see. And I'm going to use this sponge dauber. This is like probably a Dollar Tree makeup sponge. Deshelle, you are awesome. Awesome. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. Something going off the page here. And I know it's hard to chat while you're working too. So it's part of the reason I ask is so I know who's working and can't chat as much. I know you can pause now and then. And okay. Gives us a little bit of some darkness, some shadow in there. Gretchen is ish, like gathering stuff, doing a little bit. Glennis is. Thanks, Toby. I think I'll end up with 2 today because I'm falling in love with my roll of paper. You know, I might do a second one after the fact, after hours as well, because I think I'd like to go to another page and do one with a collage base instead of the paint base, but collage base and then paint over it. So that it's just a whole different process. So yeah, I kind of want to do that. So I might take the same prompts and do the second one to see what I come up with that. All right, so let's see. What else do we need to use? Magenta, purple, hexagon, or octagon, zigzag, acrylic paint, words or text, dress pattern, tissue paper, wild card. Okay, so I grabbed tissue paper or dress paper. I have a couple of tissue papers. And the thing I like about tissue paper is you can tear out what it is that you are thinking of using, and then set it there to see if it works, because it's so thin, before committing to it. I like this. I like adding a little bit of blue and even the green in there. I'm just trying to determine which pieces I want to use, which section. So let's see if it works. Let's see. Get it out there. And I like tearing them rather than cutting them. You can cut them. When you tear tissue paper or rice paper or dress pattern, you get little tiny fibers off the end. Some of them, like you can't see them as much with tissue paper, but you can really see it with rice paper. And the reason I like that is because when you glue it down, the glue with those fibers melts, just kind of melts it into the paper. And so instead of having the hard edge of the cut, it's very, it just melts into the paper. So especially something thin like tissue paper or rice paper, and it ends up looking more like it's just on the page, not so much glued on, like it's just painted onto the page. Let's see. Just trying to decide which flowers I want to use, tearing out a couple more. Our eye tends to like odd numbers, so I'll put it 3 places. I don't want pieces of another flower there, or it looks like it's a piece of paper. So let's see. And it'd be easier to cut it, but I like the effect better when I tear it, so I will take the time to do that. Prompt overload. You're welcome. I always pass on all the tips I hear. I know none of the tips are ever new. They've already been figured out. That's why we picked them up from somebody else. So I always am happy to share any tips, and always appreciate everybody else sharing tips as well for the same reason. How else are we going to learn it? Okay, and let's see. Let's put that one up there. All right. Get a little more of this blue flower off by the black. And if there's something on there I don't like, I can always put just a bit of paint over it. Okay, I like that. It's a little bit of pop of blue and a little bit of green there. A little bit of see-through black. All right, so I'm going to, I'll just use this acrylic matte medium to put it down. That's the one that's clogged on the top. Well, it doesn't look clogged. I should have put it upside down just to let it all flow down, but let's see if we can get some of it down. Can someone list the prompts, please? Yes, Michelle here. While I'm doing this, let me put them right here. The colors are magenta and purple. Margie, if you want to type them in, you could just type them into chat. Magenta and purple, Hexagon or octagon and zigzag are the shapes. Words, text, or phrase, and dress pattern or tissue paper are the decorative elements. You don't care what category they're in. I'll just tell you what they are. Magenta, purple, hexagon or octagon, zigzag, acrylic paint, words, text, or phrase, dress pattern or tissue paper, and then wild card on the tool. So any tool of your choice. So using this sponge dauber, that's a tool. Using the brayer at the beginning was a tool. Using the stencil was a tool. Here's another one just for some mark making that, you know, could be a tool. Any tool you want. If there's another one that you'd rather use, grab whatever you want. Let's see here. I'm just going to put a little bit of this matte gel medium down. And some of these I tore right off the edge, and that's perfect because I'm putting them right up to the edge of the page. If I wanted it in the middle of the page, or the part that I want in the middle of the page, I will tear that edge just so that it's not straight. There we go. And as that dries, that will melt more into the page. Yeah, tissue paper is great. We'll do a live where we're going to do some stenciling and painting on tissue paper so that you can make your own and have it ready to go for something like this. And then you can stenciling and stamping. So then you can take that stamp and tear it out of tissue paper and set it there to see if you like how it looks before you actually stamp on your art journal page. Really good way to try it out. Thank you, Margie. Sometimes I do something and I'm like, I don't really like that. It's not the effect that I wanted. And, you know, it's totally okay because you can just cover it with paint or something else. However, if it's on tissue paper and I can set it down to see if I like the placement of that stamp or that stamp at all for that page, then I save myself time in having to do that. I can try several of them. Audition, as they say, audition several of them to see what I like the best. Okay, so I let this one go over the edge, and then I will just trim off as soon as it's dry because I got medium on the part that's over the edge. But as soon as it's dry, I'll just turn this over and just cut off that edge so it follows the line of the page. So, oh, got another sneeze coming. Shoot. Oh, excuse me. They never come in just one, right? Usually three. I also pulled this. It's white gold. And so it's white, but it has a little bit of gold shimmer. It's actually gold with a white shimmer. Don't know if I like that or not. Maybe at the very end is some highlight. If I don't like it, I'll just cover it with. Also could grab a brush and just dry brush that on. It doesn't have to be quite so heavy as with fingers. I don't know if you're seeing any of that. There, you can see that shimmer. That's that white gold. Okay, now what? Let's see. We've used magenta and purple. We can use more if we want. We've used hexagon. Haven't used zigzag. I think I'm going to need my Stabilo to do that. I'm going to try to clean my finger off just a little bit here with my rag. A little bit of water on my rag. Did you miss something, Margie? I know I spoke fast. You probably got them all. Magenta, purple, hexagon, octagon, zigzag, acrylic paint, and now I don't know the rest. Too fast. Sorry. After that was words, text, or phrase, dress pattern or tissue paper, and then wild card. Okay, so we've used magenta and purple. We've used hexagon. I've not done zigzag. So I've got this. Also can use brush and paint for that, acrylic paint. Words, text, or phrase. We use tissue paper, and then wild card. We've used wild card. So the only thing left that I have to use, according to my own rules, is hex or a zigzag. And I'm just going to water down this gray quite a bit here. And I'm really trying to barely hold on to the paintbrush and just kind of let it do its thing and move it in a little bit of zigzaggy motion. I don't know if I'll like that or not. We'll see. Just trying to lighten that up a bit. I could also follow that with, let's see, keep my brushes that I'm using over here. Right. This old ivory, so that would be an off-white. Get another, just want an old crummy brush that I don't really worry about. I'm an old lucky. This would be probably fun to do with the watercolor. Watercolor is one of the media that's on there. So the list of prompts is in the Facebook group. If you go to the top of the page under featured, go to featured. There is a post in there. I think it's the most recent post that's featured that has the list of prompts. It's in a PDF so that you could take it and print it out if you would like it. You could print it out just so that you have it, you know, for when we do this, or you could make your own cards. Either way. Just kind of loosely going along that zigzag with this ivory, just to kind of tone down that. I got shadow instead of black, but it's still pretty dark. I'll kind of tone it down a little bit, but still have my zigzags. You know, you can make one zig, one zag. You don't have to do a whole page full. It's the rule or the goal for myself is to use every one of the prompts that is pulled, and that's really is what is going to help me get outside my own thinking. And then the open part in my mind is using anything else in addition that I want to that. So, yeah, she got them. Hey, Juliet. Welcome, welcome. Hopefully you pull out your art journal after and make an art journal page with today's prompts. At the beginning, we showed all the prompts, so you can go back and see that at the beginning. All right, I may or may not need the Stabilo for that, but I wonder what would happen or how I would like it if I did Stabilo around some of these flowers. Gave them a little bit of emphasis. I might like that. Y'all familiar with the Stabilo pencil? You could also use a China marker. Stabilo pencil is a really awesome watercolor pencil. I have black and white, and I think I have red, brown, and maybe even a yellow. But you see them used a lot in art. You can outline or write or mark, whatever, with them. And then if you take a brush with water, a water brush or just a brush with water, and go over it just a bit, it melts it like watercolor. Okay, I'm going to do that. And then let me take a water brush and just see. Okay, there's water in there. I'm just going to take a water brush and go over it. Just melts it and makes it spread just a little bit. Makes it not so sharp and straight lines. You can smear it around. Once you put the water on it, you can smear it around anywhere you want. So Stabilo should probably be on the prompt list, huh? I have a short list going of things to add. If you have ideas of things to add to it, some of you have already given me those ideas, but if you have ideas of things to add to it, definitely tell me so we can consider them. And if you're making your own set of prompts cards, you can add anything you want to your list. It's your list, no rules. As long as it makes you want to play and get curious, add it. It's great. There's so many things that I can't wait to play with this year that either I never have or haven't for a long time. All the different kinds of pastels, pan pastels, stick pastels, oil pastels. I can't wait to play with those and learn some techniques and how they act and react. Okay, I'm liking that on around the blue flowers. It gives them a little bit, it's just like a frame, that's all. I went over, I put that tissue paper down with a matte medium, and it's still kind of damp, that's fine. The Stabilo still works. And that not all pencils or even other things would work on that if it's still damp, but the Stabilo works on almost everything. Thanks, Leah. How's it coming along for the rest of you? And again, I want to invite you to join the membership of the YouTube channel. We'll be doing our first workshop for 2026 next week. We'll be scheduling that tomorrow, and I'm very excited about that one. Okay, so I think that's good for Stabilo work there, and I went over all of them. Okay. And let's see, what haven't I used? I haven't got words or text or phrase down yet. I think I've used everything else. So now I can add anything else I want. So I just, before we went live, I grabbed a few things, and then they may not be. There's some rub-on words. Keep those to the side. They may not work. They may be too much purple or pink, but I also got some black and white ones. So here's some dragonflies that I drew when we were just doing, see, that's just too much purple on purple. So I need something different. That's pretty. There is a white die cut butterfly or dragonfly. That would work. That would work. Also have some cool hearts that are die cut with the stitching on the outside of them. Those would work. Some flourishes. Those would work with a little more white paint there. Let's see. White would work on these, on the black. Might work. I'm just going to kind of pull out what would work. Oh, there's a white heart. Some music would work. Oh, but then I found this old card that I had given to my dad many, many, many years ago, and it had a big old fish on it. And I don't know if you can tell that it's very shimmery. It's very shimmery. So, and it was a trifold card. So I cut out a bunch of hearts. There's more than this, and there's some little ones. Might need to grab some of the little tiny ones. Let's see. I think I need, there we go. I cut out a bunch of, cut out the fish. And he may not work on this. Maybe this isn't a fishy page. And a bunch of the hearts. Color-wise, it works, but I don't know that design-wise it's going to work. But they're very shimmery and very cool looking. There's a heart with a heart in it. All right, if I put down more white paint, they would work. Okay, then I have these that were sitting there that are die cuts like for card bases. Those two are solid colors. This one was from double-sided paper. And I thought, they're not hexagons. There are actually quatrefoils. But I thought that the shape might really work. And I think I'm going to tear them. But what I'm thinking, okay, I'm thinking of offsetting them. And if I do that, let's see, how do I want, I would want that to go to that side and that to go to that side. Offsetting them and then tearing them. Nope, I don't like the edge of the base. So what if I get to play? I get to play and see what I like. Well, I don't know. I don't know. So I'm going to tear this one and just start. I guess I could cut it, but I'm just going to tear it. All right. So if I have that down there, I could have this one up here. Your finished one is really different from mine, Glennis. I love that. I can't wait to see 10 different ones, you know, different people using the same prompts. I really love that. Okay, so if I offset that just... All right, so they could be torn the same. It'd have been easier to cut them, but I do like the torn edge. All right, I think I have a plan. We'll find out here real soon. And if not, we'll get a new plan with whatever I end up with here. This is really a cool die for card bases because you can cut 2 or 3 of these and offset them and put them underneath a focal point and a sentiment. And now I'm thinking I should cut more to have more variety just to have on hand for this purpose, for art journaling, because it's cool shape. All right, I'm going to use the pink over this because it'll be easier to see, just to tear it. And some papers are thicker than others. This purple one is a Stamperia paper, and it's pretty thick. The solid colors aren't quite as thick. Okay. Oops. All right, so I think I'm just gonna glue. I'm just gonna glue and take my chances. So let me grab some glue here. Get a fine line. Hey, Lamont. It's posted. Awesome. Oh, thank you, Leah. You know, if you do one and you look at it and you're like, here's what I would encourage you to do. Just do it. Just keep doing it, even if you're not feeling so great about it. And then just leave it sit there, walk away, come back tomorrow. Because sometimes I find that thinking about it, I mean, I'm thinking about it this whole time that I'm doing it, you know, and trying to figure out and decide what to do. And you think about it so long, and you think about options, and you look at it so long that sometimes it just becomes distorted in your brain. So just keep doing, put it, you know, do what you're thinking. I'll do all this and then walk away. I'll come back tomorrow and look at it. And I might go, wow, I really kind of like that. It was headed in the right direction. It was headed, you know, in a good direction for me. Or I might go, okay, that's great. And I just want to add this. And then you can add whatever you're going to add. But your fresh eyes will give you a really different and good perspective. Okay, so I'll get that down there. And then I'm going to do the pink one. The pink one next. Time consuming just to get all the glue on here, but Doesn't need a whole lot. I'm using a super fine line so I don't get glue oozing out. I probably could have just put it down and gone under and over it with some of that matte medium. But I'm going to use the fine liner. I'm not even getting the whole thing. I'm just getting it here and there on the joints and around the frame part. Things really don't need as much glue as we give them typically. Okay, and I'm going to offset that by lining up the frame, putting it just inside the black frame, so there's no space in there. And then I tore it this way, so I guess I'm going to use this side. Kind of would like, yeah, I'll stick with that side. It's more purple. That's the way I tore it. That's the way I'm going to stick with it. Same thing, just around the frame. And then I'll just hit these points where they meet. Little dots of glue at the joints. About all you need. When you put it down, if there's something sticking up, you can put a tiny bit, like these little odd pieces. And they're going to be, the ones that are already down there are going to be held down by this one. So I can put some out here on these little ends that are sticking out, and it'll hold everything down. Okay, so I'm going to line that up right inside the frame of the pink one. There we go. And now those three are offset. So they're offset all the way up. Okay. So maybe I don't need the whole thing up here. Maybe I just need a smaller bit and then a tiny bit down here, which would give me 3. So maybe I will I'll just take this and tear it like that. Turn that into 2 pieces. And I want the other 2 to be the same. And the pink one. So you might have die cuts, or, you know, whether you cut them yourself or whether you purchase them, they're in packages, or punches. You could punch shapes out. You know, anything you can use to embellish. Or maybe you're feeling artistic and want to draw something yourself. All right, so let's go. Hopefully these will go a little bit faster. Have a stencil like the hexagon one you have in the background. I spent most of the time looking for it. Oh, man. Moved on. Well, yeah, if you have to, you go back and add a little bit of hexagon stencil afterwards, or just draw a couple in. That's funny, Gretchen, because I love stencils and I have so many that I almost didn't find this one. They're all organized in files. And so, you know, expandable files. But to go through them, there's so many to go through that, yeah, it just took forever. And I'm like, oh, I'm never going to find that. This one just happened. I know I've got a couple of them, and this one happened to be a brand new one that was still in the package. I feel like that's the only reason I saw it. Because I know I've got a couple of others, different sizes of, you know, the little hexagon stuff, and they were buried. I got to figure out a different way to store my stencils because I can't find them. They're all right in front of me in a huge bin in expandable files, but I can't find the exact ones I want, or I forget some that I have because there's so many and they're just buried between each other. So got a couple ideas I got to play with to see what will work for me. That one's a little bit longer over there, which really doesn't matter. Just making sure that I actually got the right piece up there. So only piece with the corner, so I'm sure that I did. Oh, I know why, because when I offset it, it sticks out farther. So, okay, I'll leave that. Last one up here in the corner. Yeah, Gretchen, don't let that stop you. Move on. I agree with you. Move on. Start creating. You'll feel better once you're creating. Can't wait to see what you make. You know, you could do all of this on a piece of paper and then glue it into an art journal, or do it on paper. I mean, I like it flat. So that is a good thing about the composition book, is it will lay flat. You could do it on paper, and then after you get them all done, you know, for the year or month or whatever period of time for you, bind them together. Okay, there's that piece up there. And then the third piece to make my eye happy and make all those art professionals who tell me it should be in threes. No, I don't completely understand it, but I know the way our brain works, it does. 3 is balanced, which almost seems odd if you try to think about it, because even numbers might seem more balanced. But something about 3 in art and decoration, it does appear more balanced. Let's see that way. Only 2 more. Then I know I've got some butterflies. Maybe I can put some butterflies on these things, because they seem very trellis-like to me. Which seems like ideal for butterflies or dragonflies. I feel like I'm kind of wishing I'd put maybe a little more white in the background, so that if I put some pink or purple butterflies down, they would show a little bit more. But maybe I should have looked for, or will after, look for butterflies that are not as much pink or purple. Okay. There we go. Okay, so now die cut is a prompt. So on another day, I might get die cut again, but I'm using it as a decorative element today. Not required on the list, but again, you may add anything that you want. I'm just gonna put a little glue under these tips and get those down. All right. You'll find it as soon as you finish the page. Absolutely. Pretty much done with both of them. Wow. Need some mark making, maybe some gold under white. What the doodle. I'm going to use both. Awesome. And doodle on them. I just said that because I was thinking I need to organize them in expandable file, maybe a binder. Gretchen, it might depend on how many you have. because that worked for me for a time. And I really love stencils, and so I tend to acquire them, and I have many, dare I say, hundreds and hundreds of them. And yeah, I'm finding it tough in there because unless I had a tabletop that I could set them on so the expandable file could really, because I have the expandable files stuck down into a very large bin, and I have multiples in each pocket of the expandable file. And that may be part of the problem, is that there's multiple stencils in there, but I couldn't just do one. I mean, I literally couldn't just do one because of how many I have. I would need a room just for my stencils. That's not so good. So, there's some doodle flowers. I don't know, that's kind of dark. We put our own doodle flowers up here. There's some doodle hearts. I don't know. Oh, there's some tiny dragonflies of the shimmery paper. Maybe. Do dragonflies sit on flowers? I don't know if they do, honestly. Holy stencil Batman. Yeah, I know. Actually, about a year ago, I went through and purged and got rid of several hundred, and I still had over 1,000. I know. I like stencils. I like them not only for inking but for gel printing. There's an embossed. It's just too much the same color, though. I needed a little more white in there to be able to use those. And I've got lots of purple and pink, but that's, again, this too dark, too much the same. Maybe these dragonflies wouldn't be so bad because they're much lighter. I don't know how dragonflies should go. Almost as bad with dyes. Yes. I need to purge my dyes down too, and my stamps again. I do that every couple of years, and still they're way too many, way out of control. I'm wishing I had more white, but then I probably wouldn't want just plain white on there either. So this guy's big. They're not quite as big. Well, where is my tweezer? Top on this. Ah, thanks, Leah. I actually watercolored them and then just drew them and cut them out. And my first attempt, they weren't, they weren't anywhere near what the person I was watching on the video do, but they were fun, and it was a good exercise, a good practice, a good learning. So what if we did like this, and the dragonfly was over the top of that. What I really need is a third small dragonfly. I've got a third, but it's just large. I don't know. Are they too large? Maybe they're not too large. Maybe that's just my brain thinking that they're very large. You've got a little distance perspective there. What do you think? Are those too large? Are they not too large? Let's see. Watercolor blobs. You can make your own hearts. Super easy. Get a third. No, they're not too large. Yeah, resolution, not many more stamps or dies this year. Margie, I will not make a resolution to not buy any more stencils. I'm sorry. I just won't do that. This heart is getting lost. You know what? I can go around it with Stabilo too. I can go around it with Stabilo to make it pop a little bit. All right, so not too large. You like, okay, thank you. See, that's where your brain gets hung up on your own things, looking at them. And then somebody else saying, nope, they're okay. Then I'll just put them down and I'll come back and look at them tomorrow. They'll probably be just fine. What about this white thing here? Do I need another white thing down here? I've got another one. Or do I offset that with a white dragonfly? I do have a white die cut dragonfly. But I don't want 4, so one of those would have to go. And then I don't want those two on the same page, the same side, 2 white ones. Unless this became hearts over here. I like the dragonfly there. Honestly, I do like the dragonfly over that trellis. About finishing crochet projects. Love that. Okay, I trust Gretchen's judgment. I would just do the watercolor dragonflies. Okay. What about this white die cut up here in the corner? Does that need to go? Because, or I've got a white heart because I've got other hearts. And that dragonfly could be in the heart. Maybe he goes that way because this guy comes this way. Okay, what do you think about that? That guy and this guy. And I can go around the hearts with the Stabilo to give them a little emphasis. And maybe this comes out of here and comes over here. Like the heart, like the 3 dragonflies. Okay. Okay. I don't think it's going to get any better in my mind if I look at it longer. So let me start gluing them down. Should have put these in my, what's that thing called? We're Memory Keepers thing where you just put them in and it turns them into a sticky. Or through my Xyron machine. Didn't think about doing that ahead of time because I could just peel and stick. I'm just going to go around the inside and the outside, kind of, sort of. That'll hold it down. It's an art journal page. It's not going to get handled a lot. I do like the freedom of just doing. It's going to be a fun year with just playing. Okay. These dragonflies are done on watercolor paper. I can draw their little, you know, as I cut them out, they had antenna, and as I cut them out, I thought, no, I'm not going to try to cut out those tiny antennas. So wherever I use them, I can just draw antenna. Okay, so we are getting close to the end here, just about done. And we will go to our wheel of names. Somebody wants to double check me. I have Margie, Glynis, Gretchen, Carrie, and Toby twice. Toby has 2 entries in the drawing. Did I miss anyone? And you still have about 2 minutes if you choose to get in the super chat for the prize pack drawing today. And I hope, I know a lot of you are already in the membership of YouTube. I hope if you're not, that you will consider it and join us. We are going to do more this year than we have done in the past. And already working up plans for workshops. We'll do one official workshop every month. But then we'll do unofficial, like laugh and crafts, that are just membership. So you can just hang out and laugh and craft, get private time together. Ask questions, play, get curious, work things out. These little tiny dragonflies are a punch. I have. Love that. I'll just do them all while I'm doing. So sometimes you have something like this was a greeting card that I was just going to throw away. So I looked at it and went, well, there's some cool colors right there. So you just grab a punch and punch out some things on the greeting card. Add them to your die cuts before you throw it away. Free die cuts. You've already paid for the card or received the card. If you're not going to keep it and use it in any other manner, you can make use of it. And every time I look at that, I'll remember that greeting card, because I recognize the shimmery paper that's very different. Okay, and our last dragonfly. I will leave you off, Margie. You don't want any more stamps or dies? There's usually a couple of things in those packs that are of good value. Stamp sets, die sets, stamp and die sets, embossing folders, markers. I mean, all different kinds of things that are of nice value. Definitely worth more than just the super chat. So that's awesome. So if you are the winner, I think everybody who is in here has participated before and knows that if you are the winner, and you just send $11.20 for the shipping of the medium or of the flat rate envelope, and the prize pack is free, and you just pay the shipping. So, Toby, if you happen to win, I will not close out the live. I'll give you another minute that you can come in if you want to put that into the super chat. Because I know you're having issues with PayPal right now. Make it a little bit easier. Okay, so I'm going to call that done. I think I will probably take my Stabilo and go around the hearts. I'm going to, walk away and then come back and look at it a bit. That's really heavy on magenta and purple. Maybe I'll feel like it needs a little more metallic. Maybe I'll do some metallic on the dragonflies. I'll draw them some feelers there. Or maybe I'll feel like it needs a little more white or something, but Margie, you are just very sweet and generous. No, as always. All right, so I am going to get into the Wheel of Names. Let's see, Wheel of Names. Here we are. Okay. So I'm taking Margie off and adding Glynis and Gretchen and Carrie and Toby and Toby again. All right, and then let me copy and paste and get everybody in there 5 or 6 times. Okay. There's 3, 4. Let's go 5 times. Then it gets too small. 5 times. There we are. Run a whole bunch. Okay. So let me get back here and share my screen so you can see the Wheel of Names. There we go. Aw, thanks, Melanie. Yeah, it's kind of, I agree with you, Melanie. Sometimes I feel guilty, carving out time just to go play for myself because I want to. So if you think, well, I have to do this because it's Jumpstart, then you're allowing yourself that time to play. And you know what? The play is important. We all know that. It is every bit as important as all the chores and work we do. All right. It is spinning. I'm going to come back here. And I'm going to watch YouTube so that I don't call it out before you see it. There it is. Congratulations, Toby. That second entry got you the win. Awesome. Congratulations. Okay, Toby, I am not going to, let me move that. I'm going to stay on here for just a minute to give you a chance to go into Super Chat and put your $11.20 in Super Chat for your postage. So you won't have to deal with your PayPal thing. So I can get this shipped out to you this week. So I can't wait to see all the ones that you all have done. Please do post them in the group because everybody would want to see, especially if everybody's doing it with the same prompts. And, it's nice to have your own set of cards because you can sit down sometimes even by yourself and draw the prompts. A lot of times, have a few minutes and go sit down and say, I want to create. My brain is so fried. I can't even think of anything to create. I don't know what I want to create. I just want to do something. That's a perfect time just to grab your cards and pull yourself some prompts. And if you don't like what you get, put it back and pull a different one. Because, different days, different things strike us. And sometimes we just Our brain just needs something that we like or are familiar with or feels good that time. So I'm going to do some Stabilo around these hearts. I'll give Toby a minute to get her postage in there. You are so welcome, Toby. Happy to get that out this week. If you can go ahead into Super Chat and do your $11.20 shipping, so you won't have that headache of PayPal this week. All right, and then I can watercolor and make those a little bit blurry, which will give those a little bit of frame. Bye, Melanie. I can't wait to see what you did. I'm going to finish this up. I'm going to post it in the group and go look and see what you guys have all posted. And I look forward to next Monday. But be watching. Those of you who are part of the membership, be watching for a post tomorrow, letting you know when we are scheduled for that first workshop. What did I do with my water brush? Did I stick it back in here? I guess I did. Yeah, when we're scheduled for that first workshop. $11.20, Toby. That covers the shipping on your price pack. Yeah, because that workshop will be next week. And that post will be in YouTube for everybody in YouTube membership to see. And I'm really looking forward to that one. Really looking forward to that one. Okay. Yay, Gretchen! Welcome, welcome. I'm so excited to have you in the membership. Toby, it came through as $2. So if you can do it again for $9.20. Oh, my throat today. $9.20. This is a water brush. There are all different kinds. This one happens to be blue. This one is clear. I've got them of different sizes. Some are little, some are great big, but basically the brush tip down here holds water. See the water moving in that? And then it's just a regular brush here. So like if you take a mini watercolor, palette with you and go sit outside or out of the park or something, you can spritz it to wet them up, but then you can just take this brush and you've already got water in it as you're working with the watercolor. It's perfect. And it's great for the Stabilo. One tip I will tell you that I didn't know when I first got water brushes, almost every water brush, there's one brand I think that isn't this way, and I can't remember what it is, but I kept trying to get the water brush undone, and I could not get it undone. And that is because it screws on opposite of what it should. So most things that screw on, they unscrew this way, and they like righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, right? So you screw it to the right, you unscrew it to your left. That is not the case with water brushes. They unscrew to the right, and they screw on to the left. They are totally backwards. I about destroyed one, the first one I had, by trying so hard to unscrew it. I thought, this is really stuck. That's because it unscrews opposite. So be aware of that. So yeah, this is a water brush. A stipple brush is this type, stippling. So that is a water stipple brush. This is a water brush where the water gets held in the handle. Sometimes that's easier to use, like if I'm doing the Stabilo. Maybe is that what you're asking? The pencil is called a Stabilo. This is not Stabilo brand, but this is a Stabilo pencil and comes in several different colors. But yeah, really great for drawing, mark making, whatever. And then you can smear it out, blur it a bit, spread it, as much as or as little as you want with the watercolor pencils. Really good for outlining. A little different than charcoal and is water reactive. So Toby, are you still here? I'm just hanging on for you, Toby. If you can, let's see, that it came through as $2. So I'm just holding on for you to be able to go to Super Chat. Go to Super Chat and do $9.20. $9.20, Toby. I know that it's a pain for you with the PayPal issue, so I'm just holding on for you to be able to do that here. Well, I'm excited to have our first. That came through as $2 again, Toby. If it will only allow you to do $2, you can just keep doing $2. You're down to $7.20. I'm excited to have our first art journal page with the prompts under my belt. I am going to put a piece of deli paper between my pages because I'm not going to seal them. That will keep them from rubbing off and sticking together, whatever I do, because we'll be using pastels and all kinds of things. But I'll just store it like that. I might even just do. No, I think I'd like it the fall. I don't care if it sticks out. I want it to protect the pages. So, but I will snap a photo of that and put it in the group. Can't wait to see yours all in the group. Okay, Toby. Yeah, if it will only let you do $2. Is that the problem? It'll only let you do $2 at a time. If it will, then you need to do it 4 more times. If it'll let you change. Okay, awesome. So tomorrow I'll be scheduling the workshop and it will schedule it for next week. So next week, Wednesday, you have a really full day. I want to make sure we're looking at the same week. That's the 14th. You have a really full day. Okay. So we'll probably look at Tuesday or Thursday of that week anyway. All right, Toby, you are good to go. Not a problem, Gretchen. Not a problem at all. All right. Thank you, Toby. Congratulations again on winning the prize pack. And welcome to all our new members. And again, watch for that post. It'll be later tomorrow. And we'll get that workshop scheduled. Can't wait to see all your photos of your art journal page today in the group. This has been so much fun. It's a great way to start the year. And I will update the prompt list in there. I don't know if I'll do it right away because we'll keep thinking of a few things to add. I'll wait till we have a good handful before I update that. So thanks for the thumbs up so that we can meet some new friends who are like-minded and want to play with us. You guys have the rest of a great day. Till next time, stay curious.